I've been asked to discuss the chakras and the chakra system in 8 minutes or less. I guess last time I went a little too long. Chakras are envisioning an image of wheels of energy along the spinal column, starting from the bottom or the base, the root chakra, called Muladhara, all the way up through sacrum, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, third eye, and then the crown. So each one of them has a color, and each one of them has a significance, and each one of them has yoga poses that are useful. So the first one is called Muladhara, and it is the base, it is the root. It's said to be located at the perineum, between the genitals and the anus. And you can feel more or less where it is when you do a Kegel exercise. It has to do with a sense of security and a sense of stability. And often it's disrupted when we're in fear. And every one of the chakras has a physical representation. So to have a pain in the bottom of the buttocks would constitute a consideration for the root chakra. The second one is the sacrum. The color is orange. By the way, the color of the root chakra is red. The color of the sacrum is orange. It is associated with recreation, procreation, creativity. It has to do with the pelvic organs, and it also has to do with romantic love. Its sound is Vam. Its mantra. It's a seed mantra, and the exercises that have to do with are seated. The third is the Manipura, which translates as the jewel in the city, and it has to do with assertiveness. I've heard it referred to as the source of ego, but it's also the source of shyness. So basically, this chakra, just like the rest, have both positives and negatives, ups and downs, yes and no, all at the same time. And the object of knowing about this is to be able to balance them and have them free flowing in harmony. The fourth is green. It's called Anahata, which means the not struck, the sound that is not struck. Its seed mantra is Ram, and it is the place where the base instincts of the body, the lower three chakras, start to transcend into the spiritual side. When the heart chakra is blocked, we have problems with our unconditional love, and chest pain, heart disease. Why not? The fifth is called, let me see if I say this right, Vishuddha, which means purity, because at least in concept, we're speaking truth, we're speaking purity. It's the throat mantra. It has to do with communications. It has to do with our speech. Its seed mantra is Ham, and the color is blue. The sixth is the third eye. While the eyes are there for vision, the third eye is there for intuition. And even with the eyes closed, we know what we see. We know what we know. And we also know ultimately that all things are one. And we know that through that third eye. Its color is indigo. Its mantra is Om. And it is called, by the way, the Sanskrit name for it is called Ajna chakra. Ajna means knowing. It is activated by poses that put the forehead and the third eye on the ground to ground our vision. It's always working. We just don't always know that it's there. Lastly, the crown chakra is violet white. These are all the colors of the rainbow, by the way, and they've been designated for the past decades or century, perhaps, but in the ancient times, the sets of colors that were allocated were quite different. That's fine. The colors of the rainbow, Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. The crown chakra is the white light that is transcended, and it is activated by meditation. Its mantra is also Om, but it's Om said silently as opposed to resonantly with the third eye. Now, overall, the way this whole thing works is that energy flows through three channels analogous to the spine. They are not identical to the spine. These chakras, the wheels that I've been talking about, cannot be found by dissection. We have to learn what they are so that our subconscious minds will allow them to flow through us and allow them each to be addressed and energized or balanced. I actually think of them as if they were planets, round spheres of accretions of energy that more or less correlate with the endocrine system and the nervous system. So the energy flows through the three channels. They're called Ida, which is on the left, and it tends to be thought of as feminine and cooling. Flows down to it gets to the bottom of the spine. It flows back up through Pingala, which is a male side on the right, tends to be associated with heat and light. When those two are flowing from the bottom, the Kundalini is a name for a snake that is coiled 3.5 times down around the center of the bottom of the spine, the sacrum, all the way down at the bottom, the root, the tail. And when it awakens, it allows the energy to flow upward through the chakras that I've mentioned, the root, the sacrum, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and then finally up the crown. And the energy radiates, and our knowledge comes in and helps further elevate our consciousness. That is the entire purpose of the chakra system, is to allow us to understand how to elevate our consciousness. The things that are known are greater than the things that can be spoken. Well, I hope I've been clear, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Like I said earlier, there are poses that specifically address them, but I want to make one caveat, and I only have 30 seconds to say so. The chakras do not exist in isolation. They exist all together, and when they're unified, we are awakened, and when they are separated, that's when they become blocked. So for me to pick just one to talk about, other than to tell you that when I'm afraid over a long term, I can feel it in the base of my perineum, I can feel it in my prostate, I can feel it in the urinary flow. And then when I find truth and faith and confidence through yoga and prayer and meditation and everything else, that fixes and I get better. Thank you for letting me share with you.